And back at the Sports Mall in Salt Lake City, Utah, my name is Dave Vincent and JT Hengy. As we have the announcement from our referee, let's go ahead and step in.
Receiving serve, 9-time Race for 8 champion, currently ranked number 2 on the WPH Race for 8 Pro Tour, Luis Moreno.
He's a fan favorite around here, Jonathan.
Serving first from Hesperia Lake, California, currently ranked number 7 on the WPH Race for 8 Pro Tour, Alvarado Jr.
Actually, it's Spring Valley Lake, California, which is near Hesperia, California.
We're playing best of 3 games, all to 15, win by 2 in each game. 0 serving 0.
This is the men's quarterfinals. That ball just takes off. These two have become quite the rivals.
Yeah, I've seen them play countless times. And it's been amazing watching the progression over the years from Luis coming up as a teenager, not being able to keep up at all with Nadi, and then it's just been back and forth as far as Luis has gone through a period of time where he just dominated Nadi, and I think in the last couple of meetings they've had, it's been relatively close matches.
It's kind of different where obviously Moreno is playing the better of the two, but then every now and then Nadi comes over and shows him that he's not completely done yet, and then Moreno wins again, and early dominated by Alvarado, now late dominated by Moreno, but Alvarado not going away, and a lot of comparisons between the two, especially in their service, the way they serve, and not the style of play, but both are shot makers, both are creative, both have great serves and amazing hops. And that's how Nadi has to get that ball back. Beautiful ball just dies back there.
Zero serving 2.
Shot takes so much strength. Look where Luis started right there. He was over on the left side. Nadi anticipates him moving out. Drives it right by him.
Second serve.
It's a great pass.
Point.
So Nadi has that serve as well. We've known him to have those great serves down the right that break away with the reverse, and then he has that two-wall serve that cuts into the side wall.
Point.
And just like that, Nadi just so fluently gets 2 points.
Two serving 2. Short.
That's close.
I caught it short.
No appeal.
Actually surprises me.
Second serve.
Oh, look at that. Moreno leaning to the left. Nadi exploits him to the right, gets the point, 3-2.
3 serving 2.
What is it that makes these players think that Nadi's going to the left?
I think just from years and years of playing against these players, they get to know each other's rhythms, their serves, their body movements. So you see a little indicator in their shoulders and their feet that leads you to believe they're going one way. And in Nadi's mind, he could have very well been going down the left, seeing Luis cheat over to the left side to get that serve, and they can change their serve at the last minute and still have a very effective serve.
Yeah, I know that.
That'd be my best bet as to what
went
through Nadi's head on that serve right there.
This is the Players' Championship, Salt Lake City, Utah. Nadi Alvarado and Luis Moreno. 1 game here. First one, 15 seconds, same for the third. If it goes there, win by 2.
Side out. 2 serving
I'd start circling stuff like that on the scoreboard because you need every single point here. Playing against the #2 ranked pro on tour.
Absolutely. Luis isn't going to give you anything. Those are the shots right there that if Nadi has and he executes them consistently, that's what's going to give him a chance of taking Luis down right here.
And you don't have to roll it out and get the point. You just have to at least don't award your opponent 3 points on mishits. Wow, weird rally here. Very sloppy, both players. Referee not calling any congestion or safety holds. Not that he should. It's just both players really close there. Now 4-3.
Short. Second serve.
See if he decides to go with that reverse down the left. Doesn't look like it.
Side out.
When Nadi sets up like that in the front court, you know it's just practically automatic. And Moreno didn't even fight to get over there.
3 serving 4.
He's just hoping to see Nadi maybe make a mistake once he sees that Nadi executes his shot. I'll just go back to the back of the court and see if I can't return this serve.
Second serve. I called the serve good for a point. Appeal.
I thought it was good as well. Let's see here.
I agree.
Call
That was
stands.
an amazing reverse, too.
4 serving 4.
No, you just confused me. Yeah, it's okay.
Side out. Four serving 4.
Watch how Nadi sets up here. He just goes down to that corner.
Steps all the way through it. That's just perfect form.
He plants his feet like that and steps in. Very relaxed. Watch this here. Perfect.
That's that exact same form you see him using in his warm-up. He's not being forced to take the ball behind him or extend at all. He's just setting up. He knows right where that ball is going, and it's like hitting a ball off a tee.
Actually, he looks like he's just feathering that ball lightly, but he hits it hard. I don't know where he's getting the power from, but he has this amazing leverage. Look at Nadi just keeping everything over to the left. Now he goes to the right side. And he has Moreno back out of position again. Good handball play right there from Nadi Alvarado. Man, if you like the sport of handball, this is really a great rally. Watch what Nadi does here. Picks the youngster apart.
5 serving 4.
You know, like you would say, Dave Chapman had that methodical play. In a weird way, that was the methodical play of Nadi Alvarado. More of the ground and pound methodical.
Yeah, a little bit lower game, not so much the ceiling, but
still the same sort of thing. I'm going to push you here. He hit 6, 7 in a row down that glass when he had that right lane open. Finally went over to the right lane and set himself up.
1 minute. Luis, 1 minute.
He had a plan devised that whole time. He's going to keep shooting for that left side, push Luis over to the right finally where he gets out of position and is just barely able to make that dig. And then the rest was history with that side front to the right corner.
The Vegas 3-Wall Ball Outdoor World Championships are September 24th through the 27th in Las Vegas, Nevada, right on the Vegas Strip underneath the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino Tower, with an estimated 750 combined players between handball, racquetball, paddleball. In fact, you can play in all 3 events, or all 3 different sports, and multiple ways in each one of those if you want to try to become a crossover athlete, stud muffin, or whatever, you know, Jonathan. There's some people out there that say, I'm going to be the Iron Woman of this tournament and play in everything I can possibly get my hands on. Pun slightly intended. It's the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Championships. It's at thruwallball.com, or email us to find out more at WPH@race48.com. It's also on r2sports.com. where you can get more information about that September Super Tournament, September 24th through the 27th, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Point. Seven serving 4.
This definitely isn't the start that Luis was hoping to come in here and get.
Well, Nadi's playing just tremendous ball, and that's an avoidable hinder, and that's a point for Nadi.
Point.
And it was.
I don't even know that he can contest that.
Luis is not even flinching.
8 serving 4.
I'm curious. I was trying to watch on that replay. Nadi's one of those players. He's just been playing so long. He's so well aware of what's going on in the court. He could have very easily intentionally hit that into Luis, knowing that he was going to get the avoidable. And rightfully so. It's the smart play.
Probably didn't, but you're right. He's smart enough that he could. That's a nice get. Nadi back, knowing that Luis is going to overplay. Nadi doesn't hit it perfect, and Luis does, and Nadi can't get it, and Luis earns that side out, and the crowd likes it.
Luis
Both crowd favorites.
Hop.
Yeah, see, Nadi overhits that ball.
And watch this ball right as it. Nadi's setting up for it, but it just gets his feet tangled up as it crosses back over to the left.
You don't dive as good as you used to when you're older.
Well, I think that goes with that being said.
It's just not the same. You prepare yourself for the landing when you're older. I'll tell you that. You can do that better than anybody else, but
No. 4 serving 8. Side out.
Luis just can't afford to miss that.
that's sloppy, and it's really not focused, and that's why Nadi's as good as he is right now, because he's capitalizing on some of that slop. Watch what he does after his opponent makes a bad play. He comes out harder, and he does it again here with a reverse ace, now 9-4. So Nadi knows when to stick the dagger in, just as smart as he might have been when knowing that, you know, your opponent's there and I'm going to hit you with the ball. He also knows that when you make a mistake, I'm going to come in and go for the ace, because now we just drove it in further. Oh, look at that. Left-handed right in front of Luis Moreno. Underhand punch fist from Nadi Alvarado. And he gets his 10th point, and we're going to watch it on replay. Watch this. Actually, this is right in front of Luis Moreno. He has the whole court on the right. He just flips it, and there it is, a
10
point.
serving 4. Bad bounce. Replay. Ten serving 4.
Now watch what Nadi does on this next one.
Point.
Yeah, Nadi's just been continuously exploiting that frustration through Luis, which
Foul.
it's a vicious cycle. He just keeps getting more frustrated, tries to force more. You see Luis is not really moving his feet as well. He's starting to get planted and try and force shots, in which most cases he would normally be moving his feet, getting set up for those shots, but he's shooting from the shoulder, shooting behind himself, rather than taking those couple extra steps and burying it where he knows he can.
Let's see what Nadi does here. He knows that Luis made that hand error.
11 serving 4.
And let's see if he tries to go for an, full-on ace serve here like he normally does.
Short.
If he's able to drive it in just a little bit further.
Second serve.
Let's see if he sticks with the serve he's done this game and goes down the right.
No, it's going to be a 2-wall, and it's going to clip that side wall and come out dizzy. Crazy elite shot there from Luis Moreno. Now, this kid can put on a serving clinic at any time. We haven't seen it yet because he just hasn't been in the box enough.
Well, especially after a shot like that, you know, that's got to put a little bit of wind back into sails. So I think right there would be as good a time as any for him to come in and start.
You've got to take it at that time. I thought you took the shot. Side out.
Nadi manages to get the serve back.
11 serving 4.
Luis Moreno says Nadi, there was a bad bounce on the, and Nadi just shakes his head, yeah. Big setup for Luis, punches a fist, Nadi's unable to get his hand on it completely, and it's a side out.
Four serving 11.
Serve just dies back there in the back left.
Jonathan, this one's not over here. Knowing Luis Moreno, playing with him locally in Tucson, this 5-11 is not to underestimate. I'm not going to say it's nothing, but it's to Luis, it's nothing. He looks at it like this: the next play doesn't look at the mountain that he has to climb. He just starts picking away, and he has such a dangerous serve.
That's the thing you gotta love about pretty much all of the top 8 elite players is that any one of them at any time can go on huge runs against anybody, because it doesn't matter who you are. Some of these serves that these guys are hitting are those crack serves just past the short line, and those sliders that go right back into the deep court, don't come off the back wall, and you never have a chance to hit them. Every one of these top players can hit those, so you never know when they're gonna just come out and hit. In this case, you need to hit 9 of those in a row, which is not out of Luis's capabilities at all. He just has to get that focused intensity back. Tell himself he wants to win this. There's a huge natural. Nadi follows it back, puts in that right front corner, and pushes Luis out of the front.
Well, Nadi's back into the service box now at 11-6. Momentum clearly with Moreno, but if Nadi scores a point here, he's just edging a couple more points close to that 15 mark. And no matter what Luis is going to do next, it's going to be hard. That ball just takes off over there on that left wall.
6 serving 11.
It's a huge setup for Luis.
Broken ball.
The ball breaks.
Can't imagine why.
Well, you got 2 of the hardest hitters in the game here. Nadi Alvarado Sr., who we celebrate as one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time, will be the ambassador at the U.S. Open of Handball. That's Nadi's father. The WPH Race for 8-4 is this season. Next season, which is later this year, kicks off at that U.S. Open in Fountain Valley, California, in the OC.
No, I have another can.
That's October 22nd through the 24th. Women, men's pros, indoor play, plus amateurs, juniors, age division, singles, doubles. They will go outdoor as well with the big ball 3-wall events that they have. You can get more information on r2sports.com. Email us at wph@race48.com or just visit our website at wphlive.tv. That's the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball, October 22nd through the 24th. Where Nadi Alvarado and Luis Moreno have been in the finals of that before. Nadi Alvarado Jr. has been in the finals multiple times of the U.S. Open. And he inspires to be there every year, in fact.
Can we get some towels to wipe the court down between? Thank you very much, Keith. Thank you.
12 serving 6.
It's a great sequence of shots by Luis Moreno. Pushes Nadi all the way to the back of the court, almost has a perfect pass on that crack right there. Nadi manages to get it back, and then Luis just buries it in that right corner.
6 serving.
Not a whole lot you can do about that if you're Nadi.
Back to the roof.
Point.
Now, you haven't played Nadi Alvarado yet in your career?
I've never played
Yeah,
Nadi.
but you have played Moreno many times, I'm assuming.
I've played Luis once or twice. I think the last time I actually played him in singles was back in college.
Second serve.
I have no frame of reference of what that means, but you have played him, but Nadi, not so much. Oh, that's weird.
Swing. Replay.
It was so weird that it almost hit Nadi. Luis calls for a slide.
Yeah, you can see Luis setting up for that ball to check up and come out to his right side, and it just goes way behind him. When I was in that court yesterday, it was very muggy. It wasn't pleasant as you first walked in.
Oh, Nadi knew exactly where Luis is going to hit it.
Point.
Oh, Luis cracks it out.
And here Luis is scoring points again.
But could you open the ball? Thank you.
Timeout, Nadi. That's your first. 30-second.
There were several side outs whenever Nadi was standing there at 11. I was kind of thinking he might be getting frustrated, possibly impatient, trying to get that 12th point. He finally got it. I thought he might be off that block, getting ready to head towards 15, but Luis stopped him in his tracks right there and now scored the last couple of points.
I'll take another one too. Thank you.
This is the Players' Championship, game number 1 between
Time.
Nadi Alvarado and Luis Moreno. And it
Nadi
was
had
all
2 full
Nadi,
timeouts
and
remaining.
Moreno now starting to just peck away and then get side outs if Nadi gets into the service box. Is it too late? It possibly could be.
Well, like we were talking about, Dave, you of all people know that Luis
Side out.
is known for going on a huge run of amazing serves. He hasn't quite found that rhythm yet. He's managed to knock a couple more
serving
points
8.
on the scoreboard.
I've also seen Nadi go on those runs too. And there it
Point.
is, another one, 13. See, Nadi's not going away, and that's the thing. You know, as much as Moreno might be pecking away here with those young mid-20 legs of
13,
his
serving
compared
8.
to the 41-year-old legs of Nadi Alvarado. Nadi still keeps coming back with some amazing cracks and rally enders and getting 1 point here and there as we get closer to 15.
Second serve.
Could bring us a win.
Point.
And here now, the frustrating thing, if you're a player that knows you're capable of scoring 7 points in a row, you can have that momentum, but all it takes is your opponent to get that one crack or one lucky shot that dribbles out in the front court.
Right.
And all of
14
your great
serving
play
8.
can be for nothing, essentially. But it definitely doesn't hurt to have that momentum going into the second game if you're Luis.
Oh, and he might have got it
Giving
right
up-
there.
Replay.
Oh, that's tough. That ball might not have made it to the front wall. I mean, you never know, but anytime your opponent has to do this just to get the ball back to the front wall, it's probably not going to make it. Would have been close.
First serve. 14 serving 8.
Nadi goes for that ace on the right side. Let's see if he tries to catch Luis over to the left. And he does. And
call.
Luis doesn't bite on it, but Nadi gets a point anyway at 15-8. Nadi Alvarado takes game number 1, and there is a round of applause here from the crowd, who is predominantly a Luis Moreno crowd, just historically here in Salt Lake City. So Nadi Alvarado takes down Luis Moreno here in game number 1. at the WPH Race for 8. Dewey's Bail Bonds, dedicated to providing the fastest, most courteous, and knowledgeable bail service possible. Established in 1950, they have over 85 years of combined experience in the bail industry. Call them. It doesn't matter even if you are in the state of Utah or here in Salt Lake City. Just call them if you have any troubles. 888-621-4238. That's DeweyBailBonds.com. And they are one of the supporters helping us here. Another great supporter of ours is our good friend Kara Mack. She's courtside. Let's go to her. Kara, what is up?
Hey guys, I'm with Katrina Casey here on the sidelines. You're about to play in your semifinals match. What would it mean to you to get to that finals, win that match, and take all the titles this year?
Yeah, it would mean an awful lot to me because I love playing on the pro stops, and I've had great opportunity to travel over to all the stops this year just with my work situation. So I don't know if that will be possible next year again. Hopefully I'll make it to as many stops as I can, but obviously it would be nice to finish out the season with a win. But there's a long road ahead now to win this tournament, so we'll see how it goes.
What does the future hold for you? You talk about next year being a little bit different.
Yeah, it might be. I graduated last year, so I've been working as a substitute teacher, and obviously I'll be applying and hopefully get a more permanent position, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm enjoying playing plenty of handball this year, so sometimes things happen for a reason, so yeah, I'm happy.
It's the 10th anniversary for the WPH. What has it meant for you as far as the WPH and the support?
Yeah, like it's brilliant. The WPH are really growing the sport and taking it to a new level of exposure. And I know everyone in Ireland loves watching the games when they're webcast on racefor8.com, and now it's great that there's a partnership there with ESPN, such a great sporting channel. So hopefully that'll continue, and just like to thank everyone involved with the WPH, and best of luck for the next 10 years.
Out of all the tournaments this year, which one's been your favorite so far?
I think I always loved the US Open, and I really enjoyed San Francisco in February because that was my first time and it was a new city, and we got to see some sites like Alcatraz and everything. But genuinely, I've loved every tournament, New York as well, and I love coming back to Salt Lake, and the locals are always really friendly here. So yeah, hopefully there'll be plenty of stops for the women next season as well.
You've tried to qualify for some of the men's tournaments. What do you seek as far as doing that next year?
Well, I decided against it for this tournament. I think I need to work on my game a little more, and there was a lot going on, switching between balls. The men's is a little heavier, and then we play with a lighter ball again at home in Ireland, and we're still in the middle of tournaments back there as well. I was playing doubles last weekend and doubles again next weekend, so yeah, I took a break from it, but I definitely won't rule it out again in the future.
This is the last tournament of the season for the WPH, but talk a little bit about what's to come still for you this year and this season for you with handball.
Yeah, well, next weekend when we return to Ireland, we actually have doubles trials for the World Championship team, so it'd be a great honour to represent Ireland, obviously at the Worlds in August, and I intend to travel over to Los Caballeros for the US Nationals in June, and then my next trip would be the World Championships in August, and then we actually have 60x30 championship in Ireland after that, and then back for the US Open in October. So there's still loads more handball to come, and I'm really excited.
Thank you so much. Good luck later today.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. You know, Katrina, Jonathan talking about switching balls, and she felt that didn't help her, going to the qualifier and all that other stuff. Certainly not making an excuse when she lost in the All-Irelands against Ashland just a couple weeks ago. But just when she gave that calendar there, that's about 4 different balls that she will be playing with. 60x30, and then back home with the trials and world championships. I mean, it's just a bunch of different stuff going on here as we get back into play, and Moreno scores that first quick point. Apparently some piece of the headband fell off. As game number 1 went to Nadia Alvarado. 15-8.
Not a great start for Nadia here in the second game. He needs to keep that momentum going.
Crazy bounce back there. Nadi wants that whole play to start over, from the serve to the very end. Looked like he was off balance, fooled, bad bounce, then hit the wrong shot.
Side out.
And Luis wants that over.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about, we were seeing a little bit more of the Luis you'd expect to come in here. He's moving his feet a lot better this game. And then he,
Look at that serve.
and
That's the one
contrary,
that Nadi does so well. It's a deep crack serve. A lot of players that try that deep one, if you overhit it, it's a huge setup. Nadi doesn't ever seem to overhit that deep one. He underhits a lot of these. I like that. Knowing exactly where Luis was, Nadi just put a little feather on that ball. That's the mathematic mind of Nadi Alvarado.
2-3.
And another point for Nadi here. Very similar to the first game when they were tied, and I think they were tied about 6 or 5-6 in that first game. Nadi went on to win 15-8. We're all together at 3 in game number 2. Alvarado in the red.
Luis takes back the serve.
3-2. Point.
Not Luis's best serve. Nadi just didn't quite anticipate what that ball was going to do.
4-3. Point.
Perfect shot, Jonathan Hingy. You are our broadcast partner for this match. Doing a great job, by the way.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, you know these, you've watched it at home, even though you haven't been on the tour as much as everybody else over the years. But you've watched these things, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think in this day and age, this is something that gives my generation a little bit more of an advantage over generations 20, 30 years ago, is that these videos being made accessible to everybody. I've had people texting me saying that they're watching right now. And it goes a long way towards improving your own game whenever you can see what these pros are doing, see their intensity. A lot of people think that they go in there and it all just comes perfectly natural. They make everything seem so effortless, but you look at Luis Moreno right there, you can see he's out of breath, he's working hard, and every shot that he's having to execute, he's having to put his full force into. That's something that you don't recognize if you don't get to watch this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it helps you out. Yesterday you walked in there and played like you weren't affected by the cameras. Sort of like, well, I see it from this other angle, and you hear the broadcasters talk about that sort of thing where you go, well, I'm not going to let that bug me. I'm going to go in there and play. I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off. You know what you're in for before you get there, as opposed to just walk in here and go, whoa, whoa, hold on. What's all these cameras doing? Why are people interviewing me? They're telling me I have to wear certain shirts. This is not my. Now it takes you out of your game. It gets more confusion, more things to think about. You know what you're in for.
Short.
Just like the first game, both of these players can actually jump in 3 points. See the next one come in and get 3 points.
Second serve.
They're serve artists.
Side out. 6-3. Sorry. Okay. Six, 3. Foot fault.
Man.
I think that's the first foot fault I've seen called in this tournament. You fully expect that from Dave Fink,
Second
though.
serve.
He watches everything.
Weird shank right there from Nadi.
ball comes off the wall just enough for Nadi to get into position and put it away.
Here's a slow-mo replay brought to you by Tucson Rolling Shutters. Nadi takes this ball, goes right over the top of it to keep it down.
3-6.
You've seen players go underneath that ball from there and it pops up 2 feet. Nadi slices over the top to keep it down.
Second serve.
Yeah, it hits that front wall with that downward angle. That topspin he puts on it essentially neutralizes that angle.
Side out.
It comes straight out.
Six, 3. Short. Second serve. Side out. Three, 6.
Look at this replay, Jonathan.
Short.
It's an elite shot. We've done it. We've all done it, right? But we don't all do it in the quarterfinals against Luis Moreno
Second
in a
serve.
major players championship. Certain pressures that are involved here. You know, one interesting thing about this players championship is some of these matchups are what you'd find in a national final. And we're talking round of 16, quarters, semis. They're,
6, 3.
every single one is going to be hard.
Absolutely. These last couple tournaments on the tour have been
Just tremendously difficult. And you look at the 40-year-olds. We had Thomas Sheridan and Chris Watkins. That could be like a world final, and that was a round of 8. I mean, in a drop-down match, it was John Bike and Dan Zimmett. That's a national final type match for the plus 40s. That was for, like, you know, see who could get 8th place
7, 3.
type match. And Paul Brady's off the bracket.
Side out.
that just goes to show you that there's a lot of people out there that want this right here. It's not just 1 or 2 or 3 people that are in contention for it. And I think Andy Nett showed us all last month that
3, 7.
you know, anybody that we wouldn't expect can just jump in there, roll over people like Luis Moreno, Sean Lenning, and take advantage of if they're having a weaker game, get in there and be playing against Brady in the finals. And it's not as though last month's bracket was a weak bracket. Andy Nett he was on his game at that time.
I don't know what defines weak anymore. Andy Nett blew that theory out of the water. He starts going through Moreno and Lenning, and Dave Fink loses to Colin Crehan, and you know the whole thing's all messed up. The bracket looks crazy, but everybody's fighting
7,
for the same thing. Moreno has Nadi fooled again. Nadi leaning to the left. Hats off to Alvarado for keeping himself healthy.
8, 3.
41 years old. Yesterday, there was a foot fault called here. Yesterday, there was a comparison drawn to you and your style of handball versus a
Second serve.
thin Chip Morales when he was playing good. You guys played together, right?
We did play together. He helped me focus on a few things, primarily my serve, and I do owe him quite a bit of the coaching that I got in my college years.
Oh, Nadi goes for the elite shot, misses it, and then another point for Moreno. And Nadi's going to step out of the court here for a second, I thought, but I guess not. Just watching you play yesterday, we're talking about a thin Chip. Now, you might not have ever gotten to play against a thin. I know you guys roomed together and played together, and he was your mentor, but maybe you've never seen the thin Chip. But you guys did certainly look similar yesterday.
Well, I can't take that as a hit on me. Chip was a great player, and like I said, I owe him a lot of the things I learned as far as handball goes.
I thought you were going to say Chip was a great fat Chip was also good.
First full timeout.
You didn't. You're not wanting to go there. I was just kind of.
I've got no knock on Chip Morales. He was one of my great friends in college.
Not anymore.
Well, you don't see him playing handball as much anymore. You know, he settled down a little bit, I think. Got married. Last I knew, he was living over in Hawaii. I don't know if that's still the case.
That's the case.
I haven't talked to him in a little while.
I believe we have Kara Mack courtside trying to bail both of us out here. Let's go to Kara. What's going on?
Bailing you guys out with Paul Brady here. So give us what's going on exactly with your injury. I know that you had to forfeit that first match. You're not going to be playing in the rest of the tournament.
Unfortunately, yes. No, I just tweaked my quad, so I've just got it's just a week too soon, maybe 2 weeks too soon. So I've got to give it some time just to rest. I didn't want to take the risk of being out for, long term. So I knew I wouldn't stand up for the whole weekend. So that was it, really.
How does it feel here being on the sidelines watching it?
It's difficult, it hasn't been good to me, Salt Lake City. So from losing last year and then this year, this happened. So it is frustrating, but it is what it is. So I've just got to make the most of it, and I'm enjoying watching the games. There's probably no pressure for a change, so I'm enjoying watching the games and see how the weekend unfolds for the other players.
Heading back, are you going to be participating in nationals?
Well, hopefully that's the plan. That was probably one of the things in the back of my mind here. I didn't want to jeopardise that by really making things worse. Whereas if I give it another week, I'm hoping it'll improve a lot. So I don't want to lose too much time from training and that. So obviously that's the plan. That's the big goal. So I really just want to get myself ready for that now. Hopefully get this cleared up and get back training hard again.
You've been paying attention to this match here. Tell us your thoughts on it.
Well, Nadi's been playing really good. He looks in really good shape, and Luis certainly looks a wee bit off than what we're normally used to seeing him. So it's hard to call. If Luis can get it together, he can win. But he's like I say, he's a wee bit off. I haven't seen him this off in a while. So. It's just interesting. It's a hard one to call. So I don't know who's going to win.
The race for 8 season coming to an end here. What's been your favorite tournament of the season?
I've enjoyed all of them. Probably, it's hard to pick one over the rest. They've all been pretty, enjoyable. So, I can't really pick one over the other. I really enjoyed my season and enjoyed all the tournaments. And like I say, it's hard to pick one over the other.
What can you say about the WPH celebrating its 10th anniversary? How has it changed anything for you?
It's been huge. We're just talking about that recently, how much things have changed, how much the sport has come on. There's a great buzz around all the tournaments. So it's definitely made a big difference. Certainly this year, it's been a big incentive for me to come here, and I've made more money this season than I have, certainly in any other season. So it's obviously a big incentive to always come back. I'm going back home now to buy a new car, and so I just want to thank the WPH. It's from that, So it is changing, life changing some of the monies at this point. So. I just want to thank them. It's been great. It's great for the sport, and you can see the buzz around the club here, around all the tournaments. So long may it continue. I want to thank them. I really want to thank them for all the help they've given me, particularly. So and like I say, I look forward to keep supporting as much as I can, for as long as I can.
What kind of car?
I don't know yet. It was going to be a hell of a lot better if I was fit to play this weekend, but. I'm going down in models all the time. I don't know right now, so I'm just disappointed now that I didn't get playing and try to win that money. So that's the way it goes.
Here we see you play a lot of the Americans. Who, when you go play nationals, are your top rivals?
Well, all the players you see here, and certainly there's obviously a few young Irish players. So with the Worlds this year, I expect to see a lot more of the Irish players here, or going to the Nationals. So, I like to see that. I want all the best players at the tournaments, and I look forward to the challenge of trying to beat them all. It really gets me going, and I know I have to be at my best when all the top players are there to win. So Like I say, I hope everyone goes to nationals. I want an opportunity to play everyone.
All right, you're going to get some glares here if you don't stick to your job of line judge right now, so I'm going to let you go, okay?
Yes.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kara.
I think that's quite a bit more than we're used to hearing from the quiet Paul Brady.
It's interesting. He was saying that he,
13-3.
you know, for every round he's losing a different car because he's going to go back home and buy a car from the winnings here. He's going to get a bonus check for being the #1 player on the tour for the Race for 8 championship. He is our players champion, even though we haven't given him the award yet. That's a $9,000 gift just for winning that first place trophy. Excuse me, $15,000, right? But then this tournament also has $5,000 for winning, so he's thinking he's going to go back home with $20,000. But then when he lost in that first round, and then the next round he doesn't play in the playoffs, each round that he loses a little extra money. So he's now down to a compact car. I mean,
yeah, and it's interesting you say that because, like I'm sure we commented on, he was up in that game against Mike Schneider. I don't know if he felt like he just wasn't going to be able to sustain it for that whole game, or if he felt it was just taking too much of a tax on his body that it wasn't worth the effort to try and win it out in that one round to get him into the top 8. But
it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Just like you said, it is what it is. Paul Brady in the stands as we watch the last couple points there. It was an extended timeout, and those at home saying, wait a second, why are we interviewing Paul Brady? We didn't really see what happened. We went into the interview with Paul, and then some things were happening on the court. I don't call it stalling, but I saw a lot of folks wiping down the towel. The windows, I guess, are getting wet. So it just hit us perfect because we had an opportunity to talk to Paul. And you said, we don't get to see Paul talk that often. Well, we took the right time to do it because while that was taking place, 20 people jumped onto the court and were wiping it off while we were doing that interview. You're watching the Players' Championship. It was Nadi Alvarado winning game number 1, score 15-8, and a pretty close to that same thing in reverse as I think maybe 15-4 there. 15-3 was Luis Moreno defeating Nadi Alvarado in game number 2. And then, of course, we have that tiebreaker also going to 15. It'll be up in about 2 minutes or so as we head into that one right around the corner. So we're getting ready for that tiebreaker in Salt Lake City at the Players' Championship. Want to thank all of the sponsors that have helped put everything together. Mesh, Clark, Rothschild. Since 1957, MCR has represented businesses with sophisticated and complex legal issues. Go to www.mcrazlaw.com to learn more. Also want to thank Simple Green for their patronage of this live broadcast. Always been very innovative with their products and innovative with the thought process about how to promote the sport of handball. Simple Green all-purpose cleaners concentrated formula provides up to 30 minutes and I should say 30 times the cleaning sensation that you can get of other products. Simple Green is located at your local retail outlet, or you can go to simplegreen.com to learn more. Environmentally friendly. Before, environmentally friendly was cool to say. Everything these days they say, it's gone green, JT. My car, I have a green car, they say.
Well, did they steal that from Simple Green?
Well,
perhaps.
I said this to Bruce one day. I go, you were way ahead of your time. And he said, well, we've always felt that this was an important thing, environmentally safe. He said you can go out to your barbecue grill and spray the degreaser all over it and do it over the lawn. It's not going to hurt it. It's actually going to grow better. And that's kind of the concept of the whole mentality of the company, that we're going to try to give you something that's not going to go into the water system and ruin your drinking water. We're going to make it so it's safe to drink. Safe to drink your water after you might be using, washing your car outside, and it might be going into the drain. I've seen people in neighborhoods cleaning their cars, and you see this, fluid from their vehicle, the blue stuff going into the drainage system. You're wondering, this is in my drinking water now. That's not what Simple Green has done. They've made it so it's safe for those things to happen. If you're cleaning something, it's going to go into a drain somewhere, right? All those solutions creating toxic waste, not with Simple Green.
Preparing to start the tiebreaker. Luis Moreno will serve first. We're playing to 15, win by 2.
expect to see both of these players turn up their level of play just a little bit here. Both of them want to win this, and both of them know that they're fully capable if they're on their game. So expect nothing less than their full effort.
Huge back wall setup, and look at Alvarado go with that roundhouse, unable to get it back, but Moreno starts that off with a serve that has a gigantic hook. Alvarado knows it's going to come off fast.
1-0.
And another great serve from Moreno. Luis Moreno wearing a headband that I think says Beast Mode.
That's what it looked like to me. See Danny Armijo going around passing those headbands out. I think he has them individually tailored towards each player.
Armijo said it's headband week. My headband, your headband actually says I'm with idiot over here. I'm with this idiot, which is probably apropos.
Point. 1-2.
That's it right there. Alvarado ties the score. Just like Moreno comes in and gets those very quick points, Alvarado comes in and does the same thing.
Luis just a little bit on his heels in that volley.
It's almost as if Luis heard Paul say that he didn't look very sharp. Big setup here for Alvarado. See how he goes over the top, JT? I don't know if Chip taught you that back in college, but you have to take those balls and go over the top of the ball to keep them down. Watch what Nadi does here. Super slow-mo brought to you by TRS.
3-2.
It's almost as if Luis conceded a little too quick there on that. Oh, that's a laser. That's like a ninja throwing stars.
Timeout, Luis. 1 minute of 30 seconds.
That's a smart timeout. Luis took a 2-0 lead, and then Nadi comes back and scores 4 straight. Luis has got to break up that momentum before Nadi starts to run away with it.
If you just tuned in, beginning of this is sort of what we saw the last 2 games. Sort of, we see 2 points here, 2 points there, 2 points here. Moreno comes out and scores first twice, and it says, well, you know, he's playing a 41-year-old and doesn't look good for Nadi, and all of a sudden Nadi comes in and scores his 4. How will it end?
Time.
No, we were talking about sponsors a couple minutes ago. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank Sherwin Beck and Mountain Creek Marketing. Supports myself and Luis. You see Luis wearing one of the shirts that Sherwin put together for us. That Mountain Creek Marketing logo on the back of it.
Sherwin is an amazing person.
Without guys like him, players like me that haven't gotten quite up into those ranks to make the winnings to support the travel, it just absolutely wouldn't be possible.
5-2.
I didn't know I was supposed to bring tissue into the broadcast booth, but now I know. Partner here,
My
shedding a
apologies.
tear.
I'll let you know next time when I'm going to go there.
Oh, that's a terrible error, and now look at Nadi here at 6. These guys have played in finals of major championships, and it's the quarterfinals here in Salt Lake.
Short.
It's another great battle, too. No matter what round you find them in. I just find it's unavoidable, but I also find it odd that, you know, you have this great matchup between these two in the quarters. Wow, perfect shot from Nadi.
Side out.
And that's what both of them are going to have to try and get away from in this game, is trying to force those shots that they're not quite set up for.
Look at all the fans on the left sidewall over there. Does that distract the players at all, JT?
I think once you get in there and you're in the volley, especially at Luis and Nadi's level, they're so honed in on that ball and where their opponent's at that up until between the volleys, I don't think that they even realize that there is a crowd.
Oh, elite shot there from Moreno. Left corner kill over the top, slices into the left wall, flattens out on the front, stays down. Nadi had a lot of opportunities here. Watch what Luis does, though. I mean, you're threading a needle.
Does a great job of putting himself in a position where Nadi knows he can't move. There's an amazing serve from Luis.
You call a timeout here if you're in the court?
I think that's probably the smart thing for Nadi to do. You can see Luis is starting to get fired up, and that's not what you want if you're trying to return Luis's serve.
Replay.
Oh, that's tough.
It's kind of lucky for Luis. I thought he had a really good serve and shoot opportunity there. Got a little bit more into a rally, and then that hander gets him the serve back, which is right where he wants to be.
4 serving 6.
What's yours?
Luis decided he wanted to hit that one another 10 miles an hour faster, so he just did it. You can easily say that was just a bad return from Nadi, but what else are you going to do when Luis is hopping the ball and hitting it hard like that on the serve? And there's a good view of that headband from Luis Moreno. It says Beast Luis.
Beast Luis.
So he's wearing his regular headband plus the Beast Luis headband.
Well, once you go into beast mode, you're going to need more than one headband.
I was thinking that in beast mode you don't need one, but maybe Beast Luis mode you do. And look at that ace serve there, now tied at 6. And just like that.
Luis pumping himself up. He scored the last 4 points.
Luis going to go to the right here, I think. No, stays there.
Side out.
Can't make those mistakes. You just can't.
I think that ball was just a little bit behind where he wanted it to be for him to execute that kill shot.
6-6. Short. Second serve. Side out.
We're going to 15. You have to win by 2, and it's no surprise we're tied at 6 in the tiebreaker. Men's quarterfinals with Emmett Pachot and Mondo Ortiz coming up next.
Point. Seven, 6. Replay. First serve.
Luis not realizing that Nadi's that far up in the court, tries to back out of the way. Backs right into Nadi.
7-6.
Luis is used to playing guys like Sean Lenning that play so far up front. Pretty good shot there from Alvarado, and Moreno takes care of it.
Eight, 6.
Doesn't matter. There's 9-6. There will be no replay here.
That's a good let by the referee. He sees that Luis still has the opportunity to put that shot away, and with Nadi.
Well, it's Luis's shot.
9-6. Point.
There's another crazy mix right there from,
Timeout.
I think he's taking a 30-second timeout. Nadi doesn't know how to call it, but I think that's what.
First, full, 30, good.
Nadi didn't call it correctly, but he's still going to get it anyway.
Well, I can't comment on that because up until this weekend, I didn't know the right symbology of that. You saw me give the 3-0 with my fingers yesterday, calling my 30
Well, I thought
second.
you were that was like an owl, like not quite sure. Not sure exactly what it was that you were doing when you were doing that thing. That wasn't.
Well, if
I'm
I use two
Birdman.
hands, that might be the owl.
Yeah.
But no, that's my amateur 30-second timeout that I was asking for.
Well, you have to do this.
Now, is that from basketball or football?
No, this
or
is
did
handball.
Okay.
This is the handball 30-second.
All right. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up because that gives us a little more credibility.
Well, it's cleared up. It was cleared up a long time ago. Okay. I guess you didn't watch as much of these broadcasts as we thought you did. Boy, a lot of congestion. These guys are playing close every single time. Luis is backing into Nadi and vice versa. Luis jumping over that shot, flips it back to the front wall. Nadi to the right side, hits it to the left. Luis can't get to it, smacks against the side wall, and that's another point. Or I should say side out for Nadi. And if he does one of those nice little string of serves like we've been seeing, we'll be right back into it.
We know he's capable of it. Win or lose, this has been a great turnaround tournament for Nadi. And I shouldn't even say this tournament. The last couple months, he's just been showing that he's still got it.
Well, you and I watched him in New York. We're just like, oh, this dude is unbelievable. I mean, just the way he played in New York was phenomenal.
Yeah, I felt that Brady was the only one that was going to take him off of the bracket in New York.
And he did.
He looked poised to.
And there's another point.
He looked poised to go far in New York.
So good. He feels. One didn't see it.
Probably go to video replay when Luis is really adamant about it. Yep. The ball was good, and we're back into play now at 8-10.
Side out.
Perfect pace on that ball, just enough to get it by Nadi, but not enough to come off the back wall.
I'd be tired.
10-8. Replay. First serve.
No argument
10-8.
for either player.
Again, another one of those. That's one of Nadi's best shots.
11-8.
Going to 15. Oh, and a crazy
Slide. I saw it.
slide ball there.
Replay.
That ball hits that side wall and just flips out. Watch this on replay, and I'm sure we'll be able to catch it.
Luis, can I see your gloves?
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
No, can I see your gloves, please?
Ball doesn't check up like it should.
All right. Replay.
And Luis really needs to avoid giving
11-8.
Nadi another revolving door opportunity. He's seen two of those, and you know, in his mind, he's thinking, if I get another one, I'm putting
Well,
it
yeah,
away.
eventually he's definitely going to have to hit one, right?
Luis does avoid it. Goes with his reverse.
Somehow Nadi's able to dig that ball out.
I think there's a little hesitation from Luis, thinking it was two bounces. Didn't matter. Luis was able to finish the volley.
Nani's going to ask for a towel here.
That could have been the hesitation too, thinking maybe the ball had broken.
Well, I think it probably is. There was one bad bounce, or strange bounce, I wouldn't say it's bad, earlier on. Like the ball was starting to snap. We've seen a lot of those here. We'll find out in about 6 or less whether this thing is broken. And that sounded like it broke. It didn't. He hit that one spot on the front wall. It has that crack sound.
Yeah, I was noticing that yesterday when I was in there with Sean. I thought several times that the ball was breaking, and I didn't feel like it was so outlandish to think so. He was hitting the ball so hard. Wow. What an amazing shot.
Someday when I turn 41, I hope I can do this.
See, does he?
Right.
Nani usually goes down to his knee before he hits that shot. There, he takes the shot as he's falling down. That takes even more coordination and energy.
Alvarado serve.
That's from the different camera angle there. Nani's very slow getting back up. Serving is Alvarado at 8-12, where the environment here in Salt Lake City is starting to heat up just a little bit.
Well, the Saturday afternoons and evenings are notorious here in Salt Lake City, so at least here at the Sports Mall.
The characters coming out of the woodwork. I thought Alvarado would jump up there and then go for that, but he didn't.
Anyway, I was saying about playing yesterday, Sean hitting that ball so hard that I was thinking the ball was breaking. It turns out that, yeah, like you said, there's that one spot over on the right side, low front wall, that it hits, and it sounds like the ball's cracking. It's just a little bit of give in that wall.
13 serves 8.
First serve. 13-8.
Luis doesn't mind that replay. And that's why. Gets right back in that server's box. Nails that ace down the right.
And there's another one of these weird timeouts that we've been. I've seen more of these 14-point timeouts called. Let's look at the replay here. That was a flat mouse off the right side with the fist pump from Moreno.
That's what I said. That's what I think.
Looks like Luis is just a point away from taking this match. Watch this over on the right side. And you had Nani leaning to the left to start all of that off, so it even looked more impressive.
Now it just makes you wonder what's going to happen whenever someone gets so good at hitting that serve consistently that they can do it 9 out of 10 times and there's absolutely no volley. I mean, because there's absolutely nothing you can do to get that serve. Now, I know we haven't seen it, but just imagine if someone was able to do that over and over and over again. I know we've seen streaks of 4 and 5 times people hitting that serve.
There it is. No, Nani's able to dig it out. Calls 2, and the match is over.
Wow.
Calls 2 on himself, and the match ends as Luis Moreno, losing the first one, 8-15, comes back 15-3 in game number 2 and 15-8 in game number 3. Defeats Nani Alvarado, who knows there's super slow-mo cameras all over the place here. And Luis Moreno now advances to the semifinals. It'll be Emmett Peixoto and Armando Ortiz coming up in another quarterfinal match around the corner. And Jonathan, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. I want to thank you for helping out with the live broadcast here at the Sports Mall in Salt Lake City, Utah, for the WPH Aces Players Championship with E Ft Handball. The quarterfinals of the men's elite division underway, and we will continue with more of that. We have a couple more matches. Emmett Peixoto, Armando Ortiz next. Stick around here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app for more handball next.
This broadcast of the Players Championship is brought to you by R&A CPAs, accounting, audit, domestic and international tax services, by the Sports Mall, by Dewey's Bail Bonds, and by E Ft Handball. Get the new machine washable Pro Glove at www.edlhandball.com.